without a hurry, like a letter drifting through the breeze. Sunlight settles on the empty tables and dances softly with the falling leaves. The cafe opens to a brand new story. The scent of coffee fills the air, while quiet melodies from the piano float gently everywhere. A barista hums a familiar rhythm as cups are lined along the shelf, and for a little while the world seems content, just being itself. The city stretches far beyond the window, but it feels so distant from this place. Here the hours move a little slower, and every moment carries grace. No alarms, no deadlines waiting, no reason left to run, just the warmth of music playing and the promise of the sun. This is a song for slow mornings, for coffee cups and golden light, for melodies that stay beside you long after saying goodnight. This is a song for quiet moments, for hearts learning to unwind, where the piano paints emotions across the corners of the mind. Someone reads a book near the window, turning pages one by one. Someone watches little shadows moving slowly with the sun. Someone writes a note to somebody they haven't seen for years, while the melody keeps flowing through memories and tears. The bass walks softly through the harmony like footsteps through a dream, and the guitar adds gentle colors to the sunlight's golden beam. Even silence sounds like music in a room like this somehow, where every little detail matters more than tomorrow does right now. Maybe peace is not a destination, maybe it was always here, hidden in the sound of laughter and the music we can hear. This is a song for slow mornings, for coffee cups and golden light, for melodies that stay beside you long after saying goodnight. This is a song for quiet moments, for hearts learning to unwind, where the piano paints emotions across the corners of the mind. Slowly turns to midday, yet nobody seems aware. The room remains wrapped in a feeling too beautiful to compare. Outside, people chase ambitions down avenues and crowded roads, but chord the piano whispers feels timeless and untold. Life is often made of fragments to tiny pieces of a day. Yet these are the ones we remember long after they've slipped away. I used to think that happiness was hidden somewhere far ahead, beyond the trains and crowded stations, beyond the paths I hadn't tread. But now I find it in the stillness, in the warmth of coffee steam, in the sound of jazz unfolding like a half-forgotten dream, in the glow upon the tabletops, in the kindness of a smile, in a melody that softly says you can stay a little while. This is a song for slow mornings, for coffee cups and golden light, for melodies that stay beside you long after saying goodnight. This is a song for quiet moments, for hearts learning to unwind, where the piano paints emotions across the corners of the mind. This is a song for slow mornings, for days that ask for nothing more than sunlight through an open window and shadows dancing on the floor, for every dream still softly sleeping, for every hopeful new sunrise. This is a song for slow mornings and the beauty passing by. Morning whispers through the window, painting shadows on the floor. A fresh aroma fills the silence, like I've never felt before. People passing in a daydream, moving gently down the street, while the city slowly opens to a rhythm soft and sweet. Every moment feels so weightless, floating lightly with the breeze, and the music in this corner brings a quiet sense of ease. A soft piano fills the cafe, notes like sunlight on the wall. Every melody keeps drifting, like a feather as it falls. Coffee warming by the window, while the morning starts to glow. Wrapped inside these gentle moments, in a mellow amber flow. Someone's reading by the counter, someone's smiling on the phone. Little stories all around me, yet somehow I'm not alone. The guitar is moving just a little slower than it usually goes. And the calm inside this cafe feels like something heaven knows. A soft piano fills the cafe, notes like sunlight on the wall. Every melody keeps drifting like a feather as it falls. Coffee warming by the window while the morning starts to glow. Wrapped inside these gentle moments in a mellow amber flow. Hours passing like a river, smooth and easy as a song. Every little conversation seems to carry me along. Outside traffic keeps on moving, but it feels so far away. In this cozy little corner, I could gladly choose to stay. Maybe happiness is simple, maybe peace is found right here, in the scent of fresh roast coffee and the music in my ear. No grand answers, no distractions, just a moment made of gold, like a photograph of sunlight that the heart can always hold. A soft piano fills the cafe, bringing warmth to every chair. Every chord becomes a painting, floating softly through the air. Coffee cooling by the window as the day begins to grow. Still, I'm lost inside the feeling of that mellow amber glow. A soft piano fills the cafe, and the world keeps turning slow, leaving traces of its magic in a mellow amber glow. Morning coffee, amber glow. Amber glow. There's a little cafe on Willow Lane where the mornings always seem to stay. Sunlight gathers on the wooden tables and slowly chases all the clouds away. The smell of coffee fills the silence like an old familiar melody, and every corner of the room is glowing with a quiet kind of harmony. The barista smiles and greets the begin to move. But inside these walls the world feels lighter, swaying to a slower groove. And I don't know where the hours go when the music fills the air. Maybe time forgets to move in places made of comfort, light and care. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every note shines warm and bright. Coffee cups and conversations drifting softly through the light. The piano sings a simple story, and the guitar gently follows through. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every morning feels brand new. A woman writes inside her journal by the window facing east. A young man reads a worn-out novel while enjoying his morning feast. Someone waits for an old companion, someone dreams about a distant sea. Someone hums along with the piano without realizing the melody. The bass keeps walking through the harmony like footsteps down a peaceful road. And the brushes paint the rhythm with a touch both warm and old. Steam rises from ceramic coffee cups like tiny clouds that slowly disappear. And every laugh becomes a memory that somehow feels so sincere. Maybe happiness is hidden in the smallest things we find. A quiet room, a favorite song, and a peaceful state of mind. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every note shines warm and bright. Coffee cups and conversations drifting softly through the light. The piano sings a simple story, and the guitar gently follows through. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every morning feels brand new. The sunlight slowly climbs the walls, touching photographs and shelves. And for a little while it feels like nobody needs to be anywhere else. The sound of turning pages mingles with the clinking of porcelain, creating its own kind of rhythm that settles softly deep within. Outside people rush toward tomorrow, chasing dreams they cannot see. But inside this little cafe, life unfolds so naturally. There's no need for grand adventures or stories meant to impress. Sometimes beauty lives in moments wrapped in quiet tenderness. And the music keeps reminding me of things I often leave behind. How peace can live inside a morning when the heart is unconfined. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every note shines warm and bright. Coffee cups and conversations drifting softly through the light. The piano sings a simple story, and the guitar gently follows through. In the little cafe on Willow Lane, every morning feels brand new. Maybe all the world's great wonders are not as far as people say. Maybe they exist in moments that quietly arrive each day. In the scent of fresh espresso, in a beam of golden sun, table by the window, just as morning touched the sky. Golden colors filled the cafe, while the world was passing by. Coffee rising in soft spirals, like a dream above my cup. And the quiet piano playing made me want to linger more. People entering with stories, carried gently through the door. Every face a little chapter, waiting to become much more. The city slowly starts its rhythm, cars and footsteps far away. But inside this cozy corner, time forgets to run today. At a table by the window, where the sunlight likes to stay, jazz and coffee weave together like the start of a perfect day. Every note becomes a heartbeat, every chord begins to glow, and the morning keeps on dancing to the rhythm, soft and slow. Someone laughs beside the counter, someone quietly reads alone, someone writes a page of memories in a weathered leather journal. The bass is walking through the silence, like a friend who knows the way. And the brushes paint the rhythm in a soft and silver gray. Every melody keeps floating through the scent of roasted beans, turning ordinary moments into something evergreen. The music wraps around the room like a scarf against the cold. Every little passing second feels more precious than pure gold. At a table by the window, where the sunlight likes to stay, jazz and coffee weave together like the start of a perfect day. Every note becomes a heartbeat, every chord begins to glow, and the morning keeps on dancing to the rhythm, soft and slow. Hours move like drifting feathers, floating slowly through the light. No one seems to be in a hurry, everything just feels alright. Outside, people chase tomorrow, trying hard to move ahead. But the music here reminds me life is happening instead. In the clinking cups and laughter, in the sunlight on the floor, there are countless little wonders hidden in the everyday more. Maybe joy is not a destination waiting somewhere far away. Maybe joy is simply present in this warm and gentle place. There's a beauty in the stillness, there's a peace in taking time, like a favorite old melody or a perfectly simple rhyme. Let the morning keep unfolding, let the music softly play. For a little longer, let me stay inside this perfect day. At a table by the window where the sunlight likes to stay, jazz and coffee weave together like the start of a perfect day. Every note becomes a heartbeat, every chord begins to glow, and the morning keeps on dancing to the rhythm soft and slow. At a table by the window, I can watch the hours fly, wrapped in warmth and gentle music underneath the golden sky. Every smile becomes a memory, every feeling crystal clear, and I wish this simple moment could remain forever here. Table by the window, where the morning stays. A vase of sunflowers on the table, catching every ray of light, turning ordinary moments into something warm and bright. The cafe opens with a whisper as the morning settles in. Coffee grinders start their rhythm, and another day begins. The windows frame a waking city bathed in shades of gold and blue, while the piano softly wanders through a melody brand new. There's a sweetness in the silence before the crowd arrives, like the world is taking one deep breath before it comes alive. And the sunlight keeps on dancing across the wooden floor, like it's heard this song 1,000 times and still comes back for more. Sunflowers on the cafe table, golden faces turn to light, coffee cups and gentle jazz songs making everything feel right. Every note becomes a daydream, every chord begins to bloom. Sunflowers on the cafe table, bringing color to the room. quietly. The bass keeps moving through the harmony, like footsteps down a peaceful street. And the brushes paint soft circles underneath the mellow beat. A young girl sketches little flowers on a napkin by the wall. An old couple shares a smile without speaking much at all. And somehow every tiny detail feels important in its way, like the room is gently teaching how to slow down for a day. The scent of roasted coffee beans floats softly through the air, mixing with the sound of laughter and the music everywhere. Sunflowers on the cafe table, golden faces turn to light. Coffee cups and gentle jazz songs making everything feel right. Every note becomes a daydream, every chord begins to bloom. Sunflowers on the cafe table, bringing color to the room. Across the afternoon, like clouds upon the sky, and the sunlight slowly changes as the day keeps passing by. Still the flowers keep their brightness, still the music softly plays, holding on to little pieces of these beautiful small days. Outside, people chase tomorrow with 100 things to do, but inside the cafe's heartbeat, everything feels calm and true. The piano tells another story without needing any words, and every soul inside the room seems to understand it first. Maybe joy is something simple, not a treasure left to find. Maybe joy is simply present when we leave our rush behind. There's a beauty in the ordinary, in the moments people miss, like sunlight on a coffee cup or a quiet afternoon like this, in a melody still lingering after every note has gone, in a room where strangers gather, yet somehow all belong. And the flowers on the table never ask for anything, still they make the whole room brighter just by quietly existing. Sunflowers on the cafe table, golden faces turn to light. Coffee cups and gentle jazz songs making everything feel right. Every note becomes a daydream, every chord begins to bloom. Sunflowers on the cafe table, bringing color to the room. Sunflowers on the cafe table, stay with me a little while, like a favorite old memory or a familiar settles on the city like a blanket made of gold. Sunlight resting on the window as the air begins to glow. Coffee steaming on the table, sending comfort through the room. Every corner feels inviting, like a flower in full bloom. The barista hums a melody as the grinder softly sings, and the piano by the counter adds a touch of silver strings. The world outside is waking slowly, traffic starts to find its way, but inside this little cafe, time decides to drift and stay, where the morning lingers softly and the jazz flows like a stream. Every note becomes a memory, every chord becomes a dream. Coffee, sunlight, quiet laughter, floating gently through the air. In this little corner of the world, there's a kind of magic here. Someone's writing letters slowly, someone's reading by the wall, someone waits beside the window, watching shadows rise and fall. The bass walks underneath the rhythm like footsteps down a peaceful lane, and the brushes on the snare drum sound like whispers after rain. The smell of roasted beans surrounds me, warm and rich and sweet and deep, while the piano keeps on dancing with a promise it can keep. Every conversation mingles with the music soft and low, like a painting made of sunlight in a mellow amber glow, where the morning lingers softly and the jazz flows like a stream. Every note becomes a memory, every chord becomes a dream. Coffee, sunlight, quiet laughter, floating gently through the air. In this little corner of the world, there's a kind of magic here. Without a warning, yet they seem to move so slow, like a feather on a river, following wherever it goes. Outside, people chase their schedules, rushing through another day, but the music in this cafe makes those worries fade away. Little moments become treasures, little smiles become a song, and somehow inside this feeling I know exactly where I belong. Maybe happiness is hidden in the smallest things we find, a warm cup resting in our hands and peaceful state of mind where the morning lingers softly and the jazz flows like a stream. Every note becomes a memory, every chord becomes a dream. Coffee, sunlight, quiet laughter floating gently through the air. In this little corner of the world, there's a kind of magic here. Maybe life is not about all the places left to see. Maybe it is found in moments that arrive so naturally. In the scent of fresh espresso, in the warmth of morning light, in a melody that's playing, everything just feels alright. Maybe joy is in the stillness, maybe peace is in the flow, like a quiet jazz progression, moving soft and moving slow, where the morning lingers softly and the jazz flows like a stream. Every note becomes a memory, every chord becomes a dream. Coffee, sunlight, quiet laughter floating gently through the air. In this little corner of the world, there's a kind of magic here, where the morning lingers softly as the day begins to rise. Every melody reminds me of the beauty in simple lives. Coffee, sunlight, quiet laughter, and the music drifting near. I could stay inside this moment and remain forever here. Morning light and melodies, flowing endlessly. Morning arrives without a warning, through the glass and onto the floor, painting little golden stories across the old cafe decor. Coffee steams beside the window, curling slowly through the light, like a secret drifting upward in the quiet of the morning bright. Someone hums a distant melody near the counter by the door, and the piano starts to answer, like it's heard that tune before. Everything feels soft and easy, nothing rushing, nothing fast, just a room of little moments making simple memories last. Coffee stains and daydreams linger on the pages of my mind. Every note the piano whispers leaves a little spark behind. Sunlight dancing on the tabletops, warm reflections softly glow, and the rhythm of the morning moves as gentle as it flows. Someone's reading old love letters, someone's sketching in a book, someone smiles into their coffee with a thoughtful, distant look. The bass keeps walking through the harmony like footsteps down a peaceful street, while the brushes paint the silence with a rhythm calm and sweet. Outside, buses pass unnoticed, clouds drift slowly overhead. But the music in this cafe pulls me somewhere else instead. Time becomes a little lighter, like a feather in the breeze, and the melody keeps floating with effortless grace and ease. Coffee stains and daydreams linger on the pages of my mind. Every note the piano whispers leaves a little spark behind. Sunlight dancing on the tabletops, warm reflections softly glow, and the rhythm of the morning moves as gentle as it flows. Hours fade like watercolor paintings, blending softly into one. And before I even notice, half the morning's come and gone. Still the room feels full of wonder, in the smallest little things, in the clinking cups and laughter, and the comfort music brings. Every face becomes a story, every voice a passing song, and for just a little moment I forget where I belong. Maybe life is made of fragments, tiny pieces of a day, yet together they become the memories that always stay. I don't need a grand adventure or 1,000 places new. There's a beauty in the ordinary that keeps quietly shining through. In a cup of fresh espresso, in the glow of morning skies, in a melody unfolding like the sunrise in my eyes. Maybe happiness is hidden in the places we ignore, like a favorite neighborhood cafe we've walked by 100 times before. Coffee stains and daydreams, floating through the light. The morning slowly disappears, but the melody remains, like sunshine on an empty table, or soft circles left by coffee stains. Coffee stains. coffee steams beside the window. Half past 9 on a Tuesday morning. The city hums beyond the glass. People hurry toward their destinations, while the early hours quietly pass. Inside the corner cafe on Main Street, the air is warm with roasted beans. Sunlight dances across the tabletops like something from an old movie scene. The piano plays beside the window, a melody both sweet and slow, and every note seems to be floating in the golden afterglow. A waitress smiles while carrying lattes to familiar faces she knows by name, and somehow every single morning feels different yet the same. There's a comfort in the ordinary that money could never buy. A cup of coffee, a gentle song, and sunlight from the sky. At the corner cafe at 9:30, the world feels perfectly aligned. Coffee cups and jazz melodies leave all the rushing far behind. Every chord shines like a sunrise, every rhythm flows like wine. Life feels softer, warmer, brighter at the corner cafe at 9:30. A young man sits with headphones resting around his neck, but not his ears. He listens to the room around him more than anything he hears. An artist sketches little strangers in a notebook worn with age, turning ordinary moments into pictures on a page. The bass keeps walking through the harmony like footsteps down a cobblestone lane, and the guitar softly answers like sunshine after rain. Even silence has a rhythm in the clinking cups and spoons, blending with the jazz so gently like a lazy afternoon. Time seems lighter here somehow, like a feather on the breeze. Every heartbeat finds a slower pace, every thought arrives with ease. At the corner cafe at 9:30, the world feels perfectly aligned. Coffee cups and jazz melodies leave all the rushing far behind. Every chord shines like a sunrise, every rhythm flows like wine. Life feels softer, warmer, brighter at the corner cafe at 9:30. shadows on the street, but inside the room stays glowing, wrapped in music, calm and sweet. The scent of cinnamon and vanilla drifts softly from the kitchen door, and the melody keeps wandering to places it's never been before. A little girl swings her feet beneath her chair while sipping chocolate from a mug. Her laughter joins the rhythm like a note perfectly sung, and for a moment everyone is connected, though they may never meet again, bound together by a melody and the comfort found within. Maybe life is made of moments small enough to pass unseen, yet they become the brightest memories we've ever known between. I used to chase tomorrow like it held the missing piece, always searching for a reason, never searching for some peace. Now I find it in the music, in the steam above the cup, in the glow upon the hardwood floor as the sunlight rises up. Maybe joy is not a destination, maybe it was here all along, hidden in a neighborhood cafe, inside a simple song. At the corner cafe at 9:30, the world feels perfectly aligned. Coffee cups and jazz melodies leave all the rushing far behind. Every chord shines like a sunrise, every rhythm flows like wine. Life feels softer, warmer, brighter at the corner cafe at 9:30. At the corner cafe at 9:30, morning lingers in the light. The piano sings, the coffee steams, and everything feels right. Every smile becomes a memory, every moment feels divine. Life feels softer, warmer, brighter at the corner cafe at 9:30. 9:30. 9:30. The morning slips through open curtains like a painting made of gold, landing softly on the tabletops, and stories waiting to be told. Coffee cups are lined like little treasures along the polished wooden bar, while sleepy conversations wander like echoes traveling from afar. The piano starts a quiet melody that dances through the room, and every note feels warm and weightless, like flowers learning how to bloom. A newspaper rests beside the window, unread upon a chair, as sunlight slowly fills the spaces with a tenderness so rare. Outside The city keeps on turning, chasing places left to go. But inside this tiny cafe, everything moves soft and slow. Between coffee and sunshine, there's a place my heart can stay, where the jazz floats like a feather and the worries fade away. Every note becomes a memory, every chord begins to shine. Life feels a little sweeter between coffee and sunshine. Someone smiles across the counter, someone waves before they leave, someone sits and watches raindrops on the flowers by the street. The bass keeps walking through the harmony like footsteps down a country road, and the brushes paint the silence with a calm and steady flow. Fresh croissants cool beside the kitchen, their aroma fills the air, mixing with the sound of laughter and the music everywhere. Even strangers seem connected for a little while somehow, sharing space beneath the melody and the sunlight shining down. Time becomes a softer language spoken only in this room, where the coffee never rushes and the melodies still bloom. Between coffee and sunshine, there's a place my heart can stay, where the jazz floats like a feather and the worries fade away. Every note becomes a memory, every chord begins to shine. Life feels a little sweeter between coffee and sunshine. Drift like tiny sailboats across a quiet golden sea, and the room becomes a postcard from the life I wanna keep. Outside, traffic lights are changing, people hurry down the street, but the rhythm in this cafe makes the rushing feeling complete. There are moments that arrive so gently, you almost let them pass, like reflections in a coffee cup or sunlight through the glass. Yet somehow they become the memories that stay the longest in the end, like a favorite melody returning, or the voice of an old friend. Maybe happiness is hidden in the ordinary things, a warm mug held between two hands, and the comfort music brings. I used to think that beautiful things were waiting somewhere far away, beyond the cities and the highways, beyond another crowded day. But now I find them in the stillness of a simple cafe song, in the glow of morning sunlight and a place where I belong. Every chord feels like a photograph, every rhythm feels like home, and for a little while the world feels kinder than I've ever known. Between coffee and sunshine, there's a place my heart can stay, where the jazz floats like a feather and the worries fade away. Every note slips through open curtains like a painting made